One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it.
This is going to affect everybody. So the IRS publishes the list of occupations that qualify for no tax on tips provision. So yes, rideshare drivers is in that. Do not worry.
Yeah, rideshare driving is in there. And this is a complicated ruling and law, by the way, no tax on tips. And so you need to understand, you need to read the fine print on this. I'm hoping to, I don't know, invite an accountant or somebody on the show just to clarify this part, and then maybe talk a little bit about after the tax season, obviously, but because they're busy now. But after the tax season, maybe we'll get somebody who's a CPA or something on the show to make sure they understand. I mean, the driver community understands what this is about, because, as you know, Levi, Tip You in the app, Rain Man, Sunshine Man, now the Mile High Man, they're record tip getters, bro. So it's going to make a big difference in their bottom line, right? And so they put out the guidance, no tax on tip provision in the big beautiful bill. Despite the name of the provision, tipped earnings may still be taxed in some capacity. So you got to really understand what's going on here. The deduction only applies to federal income tax. So workers' tips will still be subject to payroll taxes, like those of the fund Social Security and Medicare. And they also could owe state income tax on earnings, on the tips. So according to your state, be careful. And the list,
and you know, California is going to double their tax rate on tips.
Possibly. we do that really well. So qualifying tips are received by workers in the included occupations and must meet several criteria, including the following. The IRS says tips must be paid in cash or through a cash equivalent medium like credit or debit card, or, as we know, Zelle and PayPal and Venmo or whatever. Employees must receive tips from customers directly or through a tip sharing pool. That's mostly for restaurants and bars and things like that. And tips must be voluntary. Automatic service fees for large parties at a restaurant cannot be deducted as a qualifying tip, for instance. So these are some of the groups of folks who should be able to take advantage of tips: beverage and food service, entertainment and events, hospitality, and all the way to the bottom, as you guys can see, and number 8, transportation and delivery, which includes taxi and rideshare drivers. So I asked for clarification from Uber on this. I'm waiting for it. This year, you're getting your 1099s already. I already did it, and you're doing your taxes. But for next year, rideshare companies, under the law, they have to issue you not an extra 1099, but a designated box on the 1099 that shows total tips received. This is not the cash part that you receive on the side. That you have to be honest enough to report yourself. But the tips that have gone through the app is going to be also reported to the IRS as of next year. So don't cheat. They're going to know, because they have your 1099, and whatever tax return you do must match that. And they're going to tell you through the app how much tips you receive, but that's for 2026, not this year. So when you get your 1099.
And another provision that's in here that most people did not, or that this article did not put in, that I didn't see, the top of the threshold is 25,000.
Yes, that's the max. And then if you're also not going to be able to deduct from this, if you're in the minimum earning bracket, I think it's 15,800 a year through this type of gig work. Okay. And for single filers, and I think 32,000 for joint filers. So if you're driving part-time, you may not be able to take advantage of this either. If you're like only doing maybe $6,000, $8,000 a year, and that's your only income, but I doubt that that's the case. So, look into it, ask your CPA or whoever you do taxes with, because it's a pretty decent deduction. If you're driving full time and you get $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year in tips, that's a deduction. You're not going to pay taxes on that. So that's good.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.